the new education policy 2020 talked about diversifying how the learning should be done by the students in their school life. And on that basis, the CBSE, that is the Central Board of Secondary Education in India, has proposed certain changes for class 10th and class 12th students. So what are these changes? That is what we will be looking today. Hello and welcome to the In News series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha, and in today's video we will be discussing about the changes that CBSE has proposed for class 10th and class 12th. So first of all, about the timeline, first we'll be looking at the news, then what is National Credit Framework and why is it in news, what the subcommittee is saying and what are the changes it has proposed, how will exams be conducted through the new line which is being talked about, what is the existing grading system and how will it work, and in the end a mains practice question. Topic is of relevance from General Studies paper to Education and Government Policies. From exam perspective, you should be able to know about the National Credit Framework and how does it work. The news talked about more subjects, credit system, what changes CBSE has proposed for class 10th and class 12th. So these are as of now only the proposals which has been submitted. This has not been made final. This is only the proposal. So CBSE, which is the country's largest national school board, that is Central Board of Secondary Education. So it is planning significant changes to the academic framework of class 9, 10th, 11th and 12th. As in earlier times only the academic aspect was looked into, but now things are being very diversified at school level. A student should not be, the overall development of the student should not only be on the basis of academic background. It should be diverse. It should be academic background, it should be mental ability, it should be aptitude, it should be extracurricular activities and many more things, so that the overall personality development of the children takes place the way they should be going out in the market. Then it is a plan to implement creditization. So creditization was a term which was mentioned in the National Education Policy of 2020 and it was recommended by the NEP 2020, and class 10th and 12th students should study more number of subjects and especially more native Indian languages. This is one of the most important change that has been proposed, and that is that number of subjects should be more while the native languages should be more. Now about the National Credit Framework. Now why it was mentioned and proposed that the creditization should be included. Now what is creditization? And this concept of creditization was also mentioned in the National Education Policy of 2020. So National Education Policy of 2020 talked about the National Credit Framework. Now what is this National Credit Framework? Creditization aims to establish academic equivalence between vocational and general education. So the basic aim of National Credit Framework or the process of the creditization was to bring equivalence. In earlier time what was happening was that the academic background was given much more importance as compared to all other aspects. But now through the process of creditization, vocational and general education, vocational training and general education will be trying that both are at par with each other, both are given equal importance. And in the National Education Policy of 2020, mobility between the two education systems was also talked about. So to bring the two education systems, that is vocational and general education, so that the overall development of the personality of a children is done, what is being done to implement this is that UGC came up with the NCRF in the year 2022. Now UGC came up with this NCRF. So NCRF is National Credit Framework. Now what is National Credit Framework? So National Credit Framework, under the National Credit Framework, the process of creditization would be done. So NCRF is a unified credit framework. Unified credit framework, it means it will be one credit framework for the integration of training and skill development into schools and higher education. Training and skill development. So it will be a unified credit framework through which what the students are doing, on the basis of what they are doing, credit would be given to them, and that credit score which will be given to them is for the integration of training and skill development, so that when the student pass out from the school, the overall development and the personality development of the student is done with regard to seeing what is going on in the outer world also. And it should not be only on the basis of academic background. A student should be, overall development of the personality of the student should take place. So the student will earn enough credits to be eligible to enroll in an undergraduate program in a university. So during their school timings and their school phase, a student, on the basis of the activities he or she does in the school, credits will be given to them, and on the accumulation of that credit score in their account, that will be beneficial for them to take admission in the undergraduate programs. And now the credits will be digitally stored at the academic bank of credits. So to store the credits of the students, our academic bank of credit is also set up, and they will be accessible through a linked DigiLocker account. So see, what is happening is, there are school students, for their overall development, that is vocational and education, general education, a process called creditization is formed. In this creditization, on the basis of what the student does, credit score is being allotted to their account, and that account is in the academic bank of credit, and it will be accessible through the DigiLocker account. So this is how the credit score or the process of creditization will work. Then CBSE subcommittee changes. So on the basis of this creditization process, a subcommittee was formed by the CBSE, and the subcommittee has also proposed certain changes, and that are: the standard school curriculum does not have a formalized credit system. So as of now, the school education and the school premises and the school system overall does not have a creditization scheme, or that does not have the skills to run the credit system. And the academic year, and in one academic year, that will be made up of 1200 notional learning hours, which will translate to earning 40 credits. Now if we talk about 1 year of a student life, it means one class. So in every year, students pass on from one class to another class. Like for example, if a student is in standard 9, and then next year, after 1 year, he or she will pass on to standard 10th. So in that 1 year period of time, the student can make up to 1200 notional learning hours. So on the basis of these 1200 notional learning hours in a year, around 40 credit score will be credited to their account. So this is what they can score in a year, and each subject has been allotted a certain number of hours. So every single subject what they learn, and every single subject that they perform, and how they perform, on the basis of which certain credit score will be allotted to them. And every year, student spends a total of 1200 learning hours to be declared pass. So in 1 year, 1 full year, if a student has to pass, then the student will have to score around 1200 learning hours, that will be around 40 credit points. And after the student scores this much, then the students will be declared pass, otherwise not. Then both academic and non-academic learning in and outside the school will be included in it, so that inside the school, the academic learning, and outside the school, the overall development and the practical learning that the student will also go through. Then the committee has proposed to add multidisciplinary and vocational courses to the list of existing subjects. It means already the subjects which are existing with increase to those subjects. It means that the number of subjects would increase. Then students in classes 9th and 10th must complete 10 subjects, and under those 10 subjects there would be 3 languages and 7 core subjects. So number of subjects would be increasing to 10, and under those 10, 3 languages and 7 core subjects. And what is happening as of now, currently there are 5 subjects, and out of those 5 subjects, 3 main subjects and 2 languages. So 5 subjects would increase to 10, 2 languages would increase to 3 languages, and 3 main subjects would increase to 7 core subjects. And out of these 3 languages, at least 2 languages should be Indian. Like for example, a student can opt for Hindi, Sanskrit and then English. 2 languages has to be Indian. And with regard to class 11th and 12th, students must study 6 subjects. Students of classes 9th and 10th, 10 subjects. Classes 11th and 12th, 6 subjects. And out of those 6 subjects, 2 languages and 4 subjects with an optional 5th. So 2 subjects, then 4 subjects, and 5th can be an optional subject. So languages, 4 subjects and an optional 5th subject. Now how will exams be conducted? So what will happen if the credit score will come and already the existing procedure, that is the grading system which is in place. So how the exams will be conducted? So credits earned will be independent of marks obtained in exams. So whatever marks a student obtains in exam, credit score will be independent of it. They both will not be dependent on each other. Then class 10 students, CBSE will conduct external exams for 3 languages. So there will be an external exam for 3 languages for class 10th students. Then students will have to pass all 10 subjects to move to the next grade. So what was proposed was that students of class 9th and 10th, they should have 10 subjects. But if a person or a student has to pass, then he or she has to pass all 10 subjects to move to the next grade. It means that if a student of standard 9th is giving exam and both the exams are independent of each other, then the student of standard 9th to pass on to standard 10th will have to pass in all the 10 subjects. Now class 12th, all subjects will be categorized into 4 groups. So about standard 9th and 10th, a student will have to pass in all 10 subjects, while with regard to standard 12th, if we talk, then all subjects will be categorized into 4 groups, and these 4 groups are: first, group 1 is the language group, group 2 is the subjects of art education like dance, music, group 3 will be social science subjects and interdisciplinary areas, social science subjects like for example history, geography, economy, then group 4 is mathematics and computational thinking and science. So this is about 4 groups, that is group 1, group 2, group 3 and group 4. This is with regard to class 12th. Now existing grading system. So if all this will be going on, what will happen with the existing grading system? Will the existing grading system be replaced with the current creditization that has been proposed? No, that will not happen. Both will go hand in hand. The academic aspect will be done with regard to the grading system, while the creditization will be independent of it. So all CBSE affiliated schools students are graded, and these graded students, like the grades which are given to them is A1, A2, like the same way B1, B2, C1, C2, D and E. So on the basis of the marks that they score, grades are given to them on the basis of their performance. And credit system recommended will not change this. So even if the creditization scheme or the credit system comes into the picture, that credit system will not change this scenario. Now that was it, and in the end a mains practice question, and you people have to do your answer writing practice, as this is a PYQ of the year 2020. So you will also know that how the questions is being asked by the UPSC. So the National Education Policy 2020 is in conformity with the Sustainable Development Goal 4. It intends to restructure and reorient education system in India. Restructure and reorient, critically examine the statement. So National Education Policy 2020 is in conformity with the Sustainable Development Goal 4. For this you need to know the what is SDG 4. And then it intends to restructure and reorient education system in India. So how the NEP would restructure or would change the education system in India, and you have to critically examine the statement. It means you need to talk about the pros and the cons. So this is how UPSC is actually asking the mains question. So try to do your answer writing practice, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.